Stop worrying. Your future is safe in God's hands. You wake up every day with that weight on your chest, the fear of what's next, the anxiety of the unknown, the noise in your head saying, "What if I fail? What if I lose it all? What if tomorrow never gets better?" Stop. Right now, stop feeding your mind with fear that doesn't belong to you. Because your future, no matter how uncertain it feels, is not in the hands of chance or luck or other people's opinions. It's in God's hands. You've been training, fighting, hustling, breaking limits, and still you worry as if you have no anchor. But here's the truth. You can't control every twist and turn. You can't always predict the path. But you can control how you show up with faith, with courage, with the mindset of a warrior who knows he's not walking alone. The future belongs to those who prepare with faith, not panic. It belongs to those who keep moving even when the fog is thick. Worry is the enemy of progress. Fear is the thief of your destiny. When you put your future in God's hands, you don't stop working, you stop doubting. You start trusting the process. You start believing that every setback is a setup for the next step. Your job is not to know every detail ahead. Your job is to show up with the right heart, the right discipline, and the belief that what's meant for you cannot be taken from you. So stop worrying. Your future is safe not because you control it, but because you trust the one who does. Faith over fear. Fear is a liar. It whispers that you're not enough, that the path ahead is too dangerous, that failure is inevitable. But faith steps into the same storm and says, "I will still move." Fear freezes your hands. Faith keeps them working. Every moment you spend fearing tomorrow is a moment stolen from today's progress. Fear drains your energy before the game even begins. Faith, on the other hand, fuels your preparation. It gives you the courage to show up when nothing feels certain. When you operate in fear, you play defense against life. You're always reacting, always shrinking, always second guessing. Faith flips the script. Faith makes you the one who attacks the day, who sets the tone, who doesn't wait for perfect conditions to take the shot. Fear builds walls in your mind. Faith breaks them. Fear imagines 10,000 worst case scenarios and calls them reality. Faith imagines one breakthrough and makes it happen. There's always going to be something uncertain ahead. That's life. The difference between the ones who rise and the ones who sink is simple. Who they listen to more, fear or faith? Faith is not pretending the obstacles don't exist. It's knowing they exist but believing they won't stop you. It's the inner voice that says, "This is tough, but I've been tougher." You can't have both at the same time dominating your decisions. Every move you make is a vote, faith or fear. The more you choose fear, the more you train your mind to hesitate. The more you choose faith, the more you build momentum even in the dark. Fear tells you to quit when the road bends. Faith tells you to keep walking even when the road disappears. When you walk by faith, your vision isn't in the outcome, it's in the next step. One step, then another. That's how greatness is built. Not by seeing the whole road, but by trusting enough to keep moving. Fear is heavy. It slows your breath, clouds your thinking, makes every decision feel like a risk. Faith is light. It frees your hands to build, to reach, to take the shot even when the scoreboard says you're down. The future doesn't belong to the ones who avoid fear. It belongs to the ones who confront it and choose faith anyway. If fear is the lock, faith is the key. Faith is the oxygen of champions. Fear suffocates the dream before it breathes. You want a safe future. Then stop feeding fear and start feeding faith. That's how you stop worrying. That's how you move with purpose. Preparation meets trust. You can't sit still and expect the future to hand you greatness. Preparation is proof that you respect what's coming. Trust is proof that you're not desperate to control every inch of it. When you prepare, you sharpen your tools. You wake up early, you train, you study, you put in the work when no one's watching. But trust, that's when you release the outcome. That's when you say, I've done my part, now I let it unfold. Too many people either over-control or under-prepare. One group works but never trusts, so they burn out with anxiety. The other trusts but never works, so they live in a fantasy of wishes. Real power is in the balance work, like it depends on you. Trust like it depends on God. Preparation is the discipline of champions. Trust is their peace of mind. Together they create unstoppable force. If you're always worried about the result, you'll never give your full heart to the process. Anxiety eats energy. Trust creates flow. Every rep you take, every hour you invest, every sacrifice you make, it's not wasted. It builds a future you can stand on, but you can't force the timing. You can only be ready for it. The best don't chase the clock, they respect the clock. They prepare in silence, and when the moment comes, they trust that all the hidden hours will speak for them. When you overthink the future, you stop being present. And the present is where your foundation is laid. Trust isn't laziness, it's strength. It's saying, I've done what I could. Now I'll step forward and let the rest play out. The ones who try to control everything never rest. The ones who never prepare always panic, but those who master both, they walk with a calm that intimidates their challenges. You can't fake preparation. You also can't fake trust. One shows in your work ethic, the other in your composure. The bridge between today and tomorrow is built on the back of both. Stop worrying about what hasn't happened. Prepare your ground. Trust your timing. That's how you build a future worth living, by doing your part and letting God handle the rest. Setbacks are steps forward. A setback is only a setback if you stop there, if you turn around, if you call it the end. Otherwise, it's just a detour, a lesson dressed as pain. The future that's safe in God's hands is not one without obstacles. It's one where the obstacles build your strength. Every missed opportunity, every failure, every delay, they're all teaching you how to carry the weight of your next level. Setbacks force you to slow down, to reflect, to strengthen your weak spots. You can't grow if you never fall. You can't build resilience if you never get hit. Stop calling your detours disasters. They're directions. They're showing you what doesn't work so you can focus on what will. Every legend you admire has scars that the world doesn't see. The world claps at the trophies but forgets the broken bones it took to lift them. When life knocks you back, that's your moment to decide. Will you stay down, or will you use that ground to push back up? You don't get tougher by avoiding pain. You get tougher by moving through it with your eyes still on the goal. A setback is feedback. It's not a rejection of your future. It's a refinement of your future. Worry comes from believing a setback means the story's over. Faith says the story just got more interesting. Don't waste your setbacks by sulking. Use them, study them, build from them. Your scars are not your shame, they're your map. You don't have to enjoy the setback, but you do have to respect what it's trying to make of you. If your future is in God's hands, then even your falls are part of the plan to rise higher. Control the controllables. Worry thrives in the soil of things you can't control. You can't control the weather. You can't control every decision people make about you. You can't control timing, but you can control your attitude, your discipline, your focus, your response. When you waste energy on the uncontrollable, you drain the fuel meant for the controllable. Control the morning you wake up to. Control the reps you put in. Control the words you allow in your mind. People lose years trying to control doors that were never theirs to open. Champions keep their energy locked on the things they can shape. When you start focusing on what you can do, the things you can't do start losing their power over you. Control your work ethic. Control your faith. Control your standards. You'll never master the winds, but you can master the sail. Worrying about the storm doesn't calm the sea. It only weakens your grip on the wheel. Life is always going to hand you things you didn't ask for, but your future depends on how you handle what you can. Don't spend your life waiting for the world to act right regardless of the world. Control your mindset, because that's where worry either grows or dies. Every moment you redirect from panic to action, your future gets clearer. The uncontrollables are not your enemy, your obsession with them is. Discipline in uncertainty. When things are uncertain, most people slow down. They stop their routines. They lose their structure, and that's when worry takes over. Discipline is your anchor in chaos. When you don't know what tomorrow looks like, stick to the fundamentals. Wake up early, keep training, keep building. Uncertainty is not a signal to pause, it's a test to see if you'll stay consistent. Most people only give effort when they feel motivated, but discipline shows up whether you feel like it or not. The future doesn't reward those who wait for clear skies. It rewards those who keep preparing in the rain. If your habits collapse every time a storm hits, you'll never last. Discipline is doing what's right when nothing feels right. You want peace about the future? Start by mastering the day. Uncertainty makes the weak panic, and the strong sharpen their edge. Your habits are louder than your fears. Keep the routine, even when your emotions say quit. Discipline isn't about control, it's about trust. It says, I'll keep doing my part no matter what I can't see. Storms don't last, but the habits you build in them do. The one who stays disciplined in uncertainty will always walk out stronger, while others are still frozen in doubt. Release the weight of what if I fail? What if I lose? What if they laugh? What if this doesn't work? Those questions are poison. What if is the language of fear disguised as caution. Every what if pulls you out of the moment and into a future that doesn't even exist yet. You can't build strength while carrying imaginary weight. The mind that's always calculating doom never swings with freedom. Release it, breathe, stop negotiating with ghosts. What if keeps you living in a nightmare that hasn't happened and probably never will. Start asking better questions. What if I succeed? What if this is the door? What if I'm stronger than I think? Worry is always about a future that hasn't arrived. The present is always enough if you let it be. Every what if you drop is another step you can finally take. Fear creates imaginary chains. Faith breaks them. Stop rehearsing failure in your mind. Start rehearsing courage. The weight of what if will bury your future before it's even built. Let go. Walk forward. That's where strength lives. Gratitude for the present moment. Gratitude is the antidote to worry. When you're thankful for now, you stop fearing tomorrow. The reason most people live anxious is because they're always thinking about what they don't have yet. Gratitude shifts your eyes from lack to abundance. You can't hold gratitude and fear in the same hand. Thankfulness slows your heart rate. It sharpens your vision. Start with the basics: breath in your lungs, strength in your body. Chance is still on the table. Worry exaggerates what's missing. Gratitude magnifies what's working. Every day you wake up and list your blessings is a day you've already won. The future feels safer when you recognize how much you've already survived. Fear says, what if I lose everything? Gratitude says, look at all I still have. Gratitude turns survival into strength. Worry withers in a thankful heart. You build a strong tomorrow by respecting today. The present moment is your only real power. Honor it, and your future will follow. Surround yourself with believers. Energy is contagious. You can't carry faith if you're surrounded by doubt. People will either water your future or poison it with fear. Surround yourself with those who speak life, who remind you to trust, who push you forward when your knees are shaking. Believers see the same storm as doubters, but they interpret it differently. Doubters whisper, "Don't risk it." Believers say, "Let's prepare for it." Your circle shapes your confidence. Worry grows where negativity lives. Sometimes the future feels unsafe because you're listening to the wrong voices. Cut the noise. Choose people who build, not drain. Faith multiplies when shared. Isolation and fear makes you weaker, but unity and faith makes you unstoppable. You don't need a crowd, you need a core. A few with strong belief are louder than 100 full of doubt. Surround yourself with faith and watch how your future starts to feel lighter. Walk boldly, not blindly. Faith is not sitting in the dark hoping for a miracle. It's walking in the dark with purpose. Boldness is the difference between wishing and claiming. Don't confuse waiting with hiding. The future doesn't belong to the passive. It belongs to the prepared who move with courage even when their vision is foggy. Walking boldly means you still take the shot even if you don't know the score will turn. It means knocking on doors even if they might not open today. It's a statement. I'm not standing still just because I can't see the whole path. Boldness intimidates fear. When you move, the way clears. Most people wait for clarity, then act. Champions act, then gain clarity. Walking boldly is not recklessness, it's calculated faith. You plan, you prepare, then you move. You don't sit back and say one day. You get up and say today. Every bold step you take is a signal to your future. I'm ready for you. Fear says, wait till the light turns green. Faith says, I'll walk the light, will catch up. You've heard the noise of fear your whole life. It tells you to wait, to doubt, to shrink. But look at where that's gotten you. Restless nights, restless mind, restless heart. It's time to flip the script. The future is not for the fearful, it's for the faithful. It's for the ones who wake up and still move even when they can't see the whole path. It's for the ones who keep preparing while others panic. It's for the ones who drop the weight of what if and carry the weight of what's next. Stop trying to see the whole staircase, take the first step. Stop waiting for the storm to pass, plant your feet in it, and keep pushing. Stop worrying about what you can't control, master what you can. Because when your future is in God's hands, your only job is to show up with courage, to work with discipline, to walk with boldness. To believe even when the world doubts you. The future is not your enemy, fear is. Worry is, hesitation is, but faith is your weapon, discipline is your armor, trust is your engine, so breathe. Release the fear, step forward. The future is already written, and it's safer than your mind lets you believe.